Right, now that we've got the cupboard removed and these panels here removed, we're actually not going to worry about doing this just yet, because what we're doing at the moment is doing the dismantling, and then once we've got everything dismantled, then we'll do the reassembly. So now, because that's gone, you can see that on this side here, running along the ceiling and the wall, there's no further cupboards apart from right at the ends of both. But having said that, you can see that internally the roof or the ceiling actually does finish there. So today's task is, and it's probably going to take more than a day, but what we're going to do is actually remove this masonite ceiling. We did toy with the idea of only, because you can see here it's actually not in bad condition. It's only when you start getting from kind of like the cupboard onwards, effectively around the hatch area, that it's all damaged. And you can see that, how it's just falling apart here. Very hardy stuff, but very brittle as well. So this area around the hatch is where the damage is, and then of course as we come forward of the hatch again, the ceiling is actually quite good, but it's probably going to be just as much work to try to retrofit a piece in there. But more importantly, this material here, and I don't know if you can quite see that, here we go, it's got a pattern to it. It's probably of a different thickness to a ply, so we're just going to remove a lot. What does this mean? Well, it means that we're going to have to start removing all the trim pieces first. So these pieces, all the trim around the walls, because again this example here shows that once we've removed the trim, we've got full access to the ceiling panel. Then on top of that, they're all riveted in, and there is a bucket load of those. So anyway, first thing for me to do is to start removing these all these strips. And I noticed see these ones here are screwed in, so they're all screwed in, and then we've got a different type of strip on here which I believe is nailed in. So what I'm going to have to do is be careful, because I don't want to damage the cupboards. There's none above this one, and then it continues here. You can see the gap there already. I've actually punched that in to give it a bit of a look-see. Okay, and so it comes all the way down here, and then again across to the other side. We're going to remove the light. So one example here. So here we go, and this is going to be like I'm going to see if I can get a drill bit, flathead drill bit that I can put on the power drill, because obviously doing it by hand is the old antiquated way. So there are the screws. Alright, so here's an example. I've just removed all the screws here. So just, not that I've got to be too gentle about it, because we are replacing it, but it's just a matter of that's that paneling gone. Okay, so one of the things I need to mention as well is obviously I need to remove this strip here along the hatch, and so, and of course that gives me access to the board there. I need to remove the lights, of course, and so on. Okay, all clean there. This panel here is also water damage, so that's all got to go. And here's where you start to see a little bit of darkness there, but anyway. Oh, the other thing too is copious amounts of liquid nails. God, I hate that stuff. Completely useless in a caravan where you want whatever sealant you use or adhesive you use, you want it to be able to have a little bit of elasticity so it moves, not rock hard like liquid nails becomes. So we'll just remove this bit from the hatch. So definitely a lot of water damage there. Right, what we're going to do is take this quarter panel out now as an example. So we're now drilling out the heads of the pop rivets. And we'll be able to see what's underneath this one here. Oh no, it's just gonna. Okay. Oh no, that's because the pot. That's a nail there. That's why. That's just holding it up. If we get rid of that, there's another one there.
Okay.
And then that'll loosen it.
Esa meta se va a romper todo.
Oh yeah. But it'd be nice if we avoid that. There we go. There. There we go. Oh. Oi. Crash, bang, smash.
Okay, that's got to go through the front window.
Oh, we just.
Ese chico, este grande baby front window.
Oh no, we just break it up. Here's all the rubbish.
Very low density xylophone. Very low density xylophone.
Yeah, that's actually quite brittle.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very low density.
nice. She's all clean up there though. Very clean. Apart from here, which is where the. Even then, all this styrofoam we've got to replace.
Yeah, high density. Low density material.
See, that's what they use, these little pieces, which is fine. We can reuse these. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not water damaged. Oh, this is all long pieces. Okay.
Put it horizontal.
Yep.
Can
You-
you bend it? Yeah.
Yeah, we can bend it. Yeah, yeah. Yep. There we go. Oh, careful the heaps of nails. So I'll just start. And. Okay. It's a bit of a hazard. We're going to have to clean this up pretty shortly. Okay, what we have to do now is, what I'm doing now is we're trying to remove all these
What
strips.
happened when it's down here?
Oh,
It's down there, like in this one.
yeah.
Have a look this detail down in here. So we know the way up.
Oh, hold on.
What they've done is they put it a little block to compensate for the.
Oh, for the height. Yeah, so
a little
it's-
block of
Well, that's what I'm saying.
going that
We
lip
keep
and going
these,
that lip.
but we can keep those. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with them.
No, yeah, or we can put it aluminum, we call it aluminum.
Yeah, but in order to screw, I probably should take those out. So these are the spacer blocks. This has got both ends on it. So as you saw there, they come up and sit in here, and you can see how it sits flush where the center strip goes. Pretty simple, but does the job. And you can see here the hatch. There's the aluminium, and the hatch timber is actually just affixed to it. So it's going to be actually quite easy. We don't have to really measure much because we know that this frame. And we'll see. Oh, do you see how wet that is? That's wet. It rained last night, so anyway. Now what we're going to do is, once I've removed all the sedge trimming here, is we're actually going to get the saw and cut the roof all around, because we won't be able to get to the inside. And I'll show you why. There you go, there's the original roofing in here, as I thought, because logic dictates that we're going to have to remove the entire cabinet. Everything would have to go, and we're not going to do that. So we're going to put the new ply, we're going to butt it up here. We can see that there's a rivet here. Obviously there's a frame running across here, so we can also pop rivet the ply right at the end there to give it support. So, it's all good. Well, we decided to go with this side, continue on with the left side of the caravan. Same process. We start actually drilling out the pop rivets. Okay. Sheet number 2. Hopefully we've got. Oh, hold on. We've got to separate that from the. That one's there.
It's glued.
Is it glued? Oh, there's that bit there.
Watch out.
Oh, I see. There's some kind of ply or something glued to it. Oh. No. There's a bit of. Oh, here we go. Oh. Now, if we can. Oh, hold on. What's gripping over there? But nothing's gripping now. Okay, and same deal, we've got all the electrical connections and insulation. It's another one here.
Yeah, it's 12 volts.
Anyway, so now we pull this thing apart. Just a little bit of a caution here. You notice that there's this that has melted, which we believe is due to the 2 high wattage globes. Yeah. And the same thing over here. A real fire hazard, that. So don't go chucking in high wattage globes. So what we're doing on this side is we're cutting up against the cupboards and wardrobe and all that kind of stuff, as we said, using this tool. And we're going to actually cut it piecemeal, so cut it at one piece at a time rather than taking it off in one huge lump. Once again, we're doing the same thing. Cutting it piece by piece. Those ones down there aren't loose enough. Those we can just tap it in and oh, there we go. Okay. I'll cut it now with the just cut that corner out and then we dress this up. Right, so this is the end of the day. Actually done quite a bit. So removing, as you just saw, cutting, all nice and clean now. So the next thing to do is the hatch. Going to start ordering some goods such as the lighting and so on. Give it a quick vacuum just to maintain it. But overall, I'm really happy with that. I reckon in the next couple of weeks we should be able to start putting stuff back together. And I'll continue filming once we do that. Only thing I've got left to do now is to, which is a bit of a task, is to actually go through and remove every single pop rivet that's still stuck in the rails, and you can see that all there. But that's fine.